Welcome, Paradoxers, to Chapter 9 recap of Time Paradox Ghostwriter, After the Blank Page. Alright, so in the last few chapters, we've been revealed that Itsuki needs saving from the future, and the messages coming back to Sasaki are that Itsuki is going to have a new series called Anima, and that he needs to compete with that series using White Knight to save her life. And that's where we left off, and we go straight into the recap for this week. So the editor is talking about how easy it is to edit White Knight based on Sasaki's plagiarism of it from the future. And he's going off on how easy it is and how he thinks he's barely doing any work. But of course, Sasaki's not having it because he knows the issues he's having to draw the script starting on chapter 46, where he is writing it himself, and he is fresh off, just diving straight in with all the pressure trying to draw it, and how crazy White Knight has gotten in the climax of that story at chapter 45. He is not really living up to that, so he's a few chapters ahead. Editor is finally, after all that praise, is telling him, you kind of need to rewrite this chapter. It's not hitting on all cylinders like it should. And of course, it's kind of crushing to Sasaki because he already knows that he needs to live up to Itsuki's dominance of just pure amazing storytelling. So he's not quite hitting that mark, and it's making him feel bad. And as it should, he got into that situation, and now he has to live with it. So moving on, the author of this manga is making it clear that the messages that are coming from the future are true. So they are specifically saying that the lottery numbers that were revealed when looked up by Sasaki actually did come true. Even though he did not play the lotto, they were true, and so that now it's increasing the pressure on him because he knows that the warning that Itsuki is going to die is probably going to happen if the lottery is going to happen. That's also a cue for the viewers. More on this later. So Itsuki actually has a little bit of trouble with some of the technical aspects of her drawing, and he asks Teppei for help. And it's revealed that Teppei had a mentor, and that mentor was Nanashino Sensei, who is currently a very popular manga creator in this manga, who draws Vitamin Man, which is a battle comedy manga. So more on this later, but it is revealed that he does have a mentor. And moving on from this chapter, Itsuki drops the notebook that Teppei gave her while they were celebrating that one night, and furthermore confirmation that the messages are true. That we see that Itsuki is indeed working on a series called Anima, and of course, very politely, she says, please review it when I'm finished with it. I'm just starting on it, apparently. And so now we move on to the end of the chapter, which shows Sasaki basically killing himself, second-guessing himself, dealing with anxiety, talking to himself, and just trying to work through creating the best storyboards he can to save Itsuki, despite all the doubts that he has. And it's showing how difficult it is, just like we've seen in the past chapters, that nothing is coming easy for him. And then, to conclude, half a year later, so they're moving pretty quick, more on that later in my notes, Itsuki actually does get her series, which I predicted, and she is saying goodbye to Sasaki, thanking him, and also reaffirming that they do have their competition of she won't be beaten in terms of when they initially had that confrontation about White Knight in chapter 3. So, wow, what a crazy chapter. Let's move straight into my notes. The first thing that I have is, how does the future know that what the name of Itsuki Aino's new manga will be. So in the future, she may have had different types of experience creating manga leading up to White Knight, but they can't for sure say that in this timeline, Itsuki Aino created White Knight, and then after working as an assistant for Sasaki, she creates Anima. Like, how would they know that? Unless this is the paradox part, like they see it in motion, but I don't really get it. So I think that needs to be explained. I'm not exactly sure how that works. Okay, another note I have is they did a lot of work to make sure that we understand that what they're sending from the future is coming true, so that they can make sure that everyone understands that she will indeed die. There is consequences. So they confirmed that with the lottery numbers, which is an outside influence that none of the characters have control with. It is just something that happened in the history of time. So they confirmed that. And then it's also confirmed that her manga, Anima, is her next work, which is also confirmed from the future. And so all of this goes into creating an environment of seriousness behind Itsuki's situation in the future. So I thought that was worthy to note. Next, I have, this series is moving really quick. So we actually just did a time jump again. It was shown that Sasaki was working on chapter 46, the one after that she died in the future, and now it's a half a year later, like on the next page. So we are moving really quick. I'm wondering, like, how fast is this series going? We're not even in 10 chapters in. It feels like we've moved like tremendous distance from the original chapter 1. Okay, and my last note is we are introduced to Sasaki's mentor, Nanashino sensei. So I don't think that's random. They actually built up for that scene. So if you remember, Itsuki had trouble with the technical part, and they led into the introduction of his mentor. So I think next chapter we're going to see the mentor either giving advice or he has a role in this crazy, absurd story. But that's something to look out for. I think they introduced his sensei for a reason. Alright, that's all the notes I have for this week. Thanks for supporting me so far. You can follow me for the memes on Twitter at ParadoxTweeter. Thanks again. Please like and subscribe. See you guys next week.